Welcome back to the IE427 garage, everybody. What? Where did this thing come from? All right, so there is another project in the shop. The owners of this car came down for a visit about a month ago, so about 4 or 5 weeks ago. And the owner, Martin, put a post up on, I think it was the Factory 5 forum, and he wanted to see if there was anybody local to him who could help him or finish the car for him. And while we're not that local to him, we were about the closest pro builder to where he lives. Martin and his wife, Amanda, live in Oregon, and there really isn't any pro builders up in that area. So a couple of the guys on the forum mentioned that, I'm in Southern California, or we're in Southern California, and that he should put a call into us and see if we'd be interested in doing the car. And not being one to ever turn down work, of course I'm interested in the work. Now, the project may have to wait a while because you guys know we've got a couple of projects here in the shop already. We've got the 65 Coupe in the workshop that we've just started working on again after a pretty good sized delay. And we've got the 68 Mustang over here on the side of the shop that, as I've stated in a couple other videos, has its own issues that we're trying to work through at this point. But let me give you a little history of this project before I go over some of the specifics of the car. This is a early Mark IV kit. So this Mark IV kit is over 10 years old. And when I kind of show you the condition, and I'm not meaning that in a derogatory sense of the body, you'll kind of see it's weathered. And there's a reason for that, because it's sat outside for 10 years. And that's fine, because the fiberglass has had plenty of time to off-gas all of the chemicals within it, and it'll make it easier to get body work and paint done, because we won't have to worry about any of that off-gassing. So this is a Mark IV kit. I'll turn around and show you the engine in just a second, but it is a complete kit. So it's got all of the complete kit parts on it, the tubular lower control arms for the front. The IRS in this case, this was one of the cars that was produced just after they announced the 2015 Mustang IRS that they started using on these cars. So it's got that. It's got the Factory 5 wheels on it. It has tires on it. I haven't checked the date codes on it, but I know they're past their date code. But we'll deal with that, when the time comes and when the car is ready to go on the road. But other than that, it pretty much has most of the options you would expect. It has a heater. I think we talked to Amanda and we talked to Martin about doing some heated seats in this and some other creature comforts. But for right now, we're just going to kind of shelve this project. I haven't even had time to put any of the boxes away and organize them. Mrs. IE427 and myself have got a lot on our plate right now, and we've just kind of pushed this off to the side so that we can get in and out of the shop. And as we have time, we'll go through some of the boxes, maybe organize them, put them on the shelf over there where a lot of the Mustang parts are, just so that they're downstairs and available and they don't clog up the upstairs mezzanine. But So that's why this vehicle, this project is in the shop, just like every other project that's in the shop, if we run into any issues with the other two projects that are here, we'll have something that we can work on while we're waiting for either answers or parts or whatever on any of the other two projects that are here. So the parts are all here except for the transmission. And I don't know if it's a good thing, I don't know if it's a bad thing. It's probably a good thing in the sense that Tremec has done a great job with their TKX transmission and making it shift a lot nicer than the old TKO 500 and 600s, which tend to shift like a truck, especially for the first, 1,000 or so miles on them. So Martin's going to have to order a transmission for this, a bell housing, and a clutch. But other than that, every part that we need as far as kit related is here. All the inventory's been done. We don't have to worry about any back ordered parts. You guys kind of know how that is. So at any point that we want to start working and building on this car, everything's here. Now, that's not to say that, we won't run into the Midas wells as we're going through this, because just like everything else, once the project is here, it somewhat reinvigorates the car owners. They get excited about the build again. This has been sitting around their shop or their garage for quite some time, and sometimes you just want to ignore the fact that it's there because the frustration, kind of creeps in that, nothing's moving forward. But now that it's here, even though we're not working specifically on this car at this point, it's going to reinvigorate the car owners, and they're going to get excited about the build all over again, which is really cool. Looking at the body, you can see it's sat outside for a while. Actually, the seams, because this is an early Mark IV, actually aren't too bad on this. I've seen much worse. But in talking with the car owners, they are very much excited about going straight to paint. So when we get this ready for paint, it's going straight to paint, and we're going to finish this car to completion. Now, let's talk about the drivetrain. We talked about the transmission, but I didn't give you really a peek of the engine over here. We've got the crate engine here. This is, believe it or not, this is a Gen 1 Coyote crate engine from Ford Racing. I believe the car owner sourced this from Summit Racing. So at the time, and they may still have, Summit Racing had a basically a one-click option for the Coyote going into the Mark IV. And so Martin clicked that box and he got the crate engine, he got the control pack, the engine cover, and also oil pan and gasket and pickup, because the oil pan that comes on the crate engine has to be removed and a low profile pan has to be installed. So we'll obviously have to do that when the point comes. This isn't the first time we've done this. We've done cars far enough back that I remember having to do all this stuff, but there you go. When you order one of the crate engines now, especially from one of our suppliers like Mike Forte at Forte's Parts Connection, it already comes with the proper pan on it, and you don't have to worry about changing it. But I did remember that we needed one particular part from Ford Racing that used to come with that control pack, and that's called a speed dial. And what that does is it attaches to the ECU, and if my understanding was correct and I'm remembering this properly, this speed dial connects in line with the speedometer, and what it does is as you're coming to a stop, it automatically sends a signal to the computer to basically catch the idle, because the engine will want to idle down low and then die, and you don't want that, and the speed dial helps to but I could be completely wrong. I just know that we have to install it on here for the engine to run properly. So that's kind of the rundown of the car. Now, as always, these projects that we get in here always come with a story, and the story, as it was told to me anyways, is kind of cute, because what had happened is that the build stalled for a good long time. I mean, 10 years is about the age of this kit. what the car owners had dreams of doing was, after this car was finished, they wanted to basically drive Route 66. I don't know whether they wanted to start in Chicago and drive back to the West Coast or drive from the West Coast out, but it doesn't matter. They wanted to basically take this on Route 66, any part of Route 66 that still exists. And as the years wore on, what happened was that Amanda, the wife, started poking fun at Martin, saying, you know, we could always rent a car and drive it on Route 66. And I think that's what finally gave him the little kick in the pants to get the car finished. So I thought that was kind of a cute story. We're hoping to get this done for them, obviously in the time frame that we've discussed with them. But you know, things happen, and I never give a definitive or a concrete date on delivery because, like I said, things happen and you just gotta roll with the punches. But that's kind of where things are with this car. I wanted to give you guys an update, and obviously the car owners an update, because the car's been here for a couple of weeks. They actually drove the car down with a U-Haul trailer and truck, and they were here with us about 2 weeks ago. The nice thing is since they were here overnight, we were actually able to have dinner with them on Saturday night, and it was nice. Then we took them over to the hotel room that evening, and the next morning they boarded their flight and went home. So I think that's where I'm going to leave this one, but we'll be seeing it as you know, I migrate around the shop, and I wanted to make sure that everybody knew it was kind of here, including the car owners. But if you guys are enjoying the content, as always, please do the like, the share, the subscribe, all that kind of stuff. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.